Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
We just here adjusting the lights. Let's get the lights adjusted here real quick. There we go. I want to welcome everybody to Iggy Garcia Live, episode 129. This is town hall meeting, I guess, where you are my guest. So I'm gonna put the link on here for those of you who want to join me. Okay, there we go. And the password. Okay. So if you want to join me on the show, just follow that link and follow that passcode. That should get you in. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, guys, so that's where we're at. I want to welcome everybody to the show. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope that you are able to wind down a little bit from the week. I know it's been a little stressful for a lot of people. And so today, just want you to sit back and relax, share what's on your thoughts, share what's on your feelings and emotions. But like every show, we like to start off with burning a little sage, giving thanks to the ancestors, giving thanks to those that came before us. They set the groundwork for us to do what we need to do. But now it's our turn to do what we need to do. And one day we will become the ancestors. One day it will be our turn. Regardless if someone remembers us or not, we remembered them. And by doing so, we honored them. Okay. Let's burn a little sage. Send the sage out to you guys there. Oh, yeah, it feels good. Oh. This stuff's really good for you. It's antibacterial, too. It kills the stuff that's in the air that's kind of nasty. And then we also light a candle in remembrance, in honoring while we do our show. So we light this candle. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, and guide us. And may we speak what we need to speak. May we share what we need to share. Keep us in good harmony, good flow tonight. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to switch these things around a little bit. There we are. Okay. So, those of you who are online, you want to join me, you're more than welcome to. I want to say hi. I think Sherry's online there. I want to say hi to Sherry. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm not sure who else is on here as I peek on here. There we go. So if you want to join me tonight, please do so. Please join me and share your feelings, your emotions, whatever you want to be on, or any kind of prayers you want to send out to anybody, any kind of affirmations you want to share with us, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to cover, anything that you just want to kind of put up there in the universe. But until we have people join, I'm just going to kind of carry the show for a little bit. But so this week's been kind of an interesting week. We've had a lot of snow. We've had a lot of just a lot of snow. And I have a few friends who love the snow. I can't say I'm a big snowbird by any means, or by any ways that I'm a big snow guy. Because remember, I'm from South America, and I know they have snow there, but I'm not like fanatically crazy about the snow. It's just kind of I don't know, for me it's cold. But you get used to it. Being here long enough, you start to adapt, and you're there and you do the things you need to do in order to be in the snow. Snow, too much snow. Snow in the lunch, snow in the day, snow in the night. But I want to send some positive energy out west out to Texas and all the states that are being affected by this unprecedented type of weather that we've been having in this country. Basically, what we're seeing there is a change in the atmosphere, a change in the environment, change in just the way things are. And so, what's happening? I guess we have to ask ourselves, what's going on? I have friends from conspiracy theorists all the way to people who say global warming. It's probably a little bit of better everything. Of course, Texas is kind of manages their own grid there, so they're kind of cut off from the grid that's part of the whole United States, so they're independent. I guess they're not ready to secede from the union since they can't really fend for themselves. What will they do? I don't know, but I'm going to send prayers and I'm going to send a lot of love their way, because right now a lot of people are really suffering, really going through a lot of emotional despair, trauma, food, water, just the basic necessities right now are just lacking in Texas. I mean, the basic necessities are a sad thing, when you don't have them. So let's send prayers out to Texas and all the states that are affected by this winter weather. And hopefully they can get a hold of themselves and are able to, get themselves in the right frame of mind and do what they need to do. And maybe the weather will break a little bit for them. And maybe they'll get a little bit of relief. But I feel really bad for the animals in the zoo too. I guess some animals in the zoo have perished because just the extreme cold. And it's funny to say, and I'll report this because I haven't reported yet. It took me a minute to figure out what was going on, but my websites are all down. All the things where I put all my web information, like pages and stuff like that, and my radio shows go through. Well, they're down because the servers, the company that I work with, is in Texas, and Texas has had the grid and the electricity has gone down, and who knows what's going on. I have no clue. I have no way to reach this company that I've been dealing with for years, and I hope that they're okay. I hope they can recover. If not, I'm gonna just have to rebuild all that stuff from scratch to some degree. But that's kind of how life is, right? Sometimes we have to rebuild things from scratch, and we have to build things from the bottom up. And I tell you, it's just one of those things that I was not expecting. And here's the funny thing, okay? And again, the link's on here, guys. The link's on here to join me. Okay, then the passcode is right below it. Okay, so those of you who want to talk with me, come online with me and share with me, you're more than welcome to do so. I'll punch you in here. And then you can join in on the Zoom conference call on Iggy Garcia Live. Well, here's the thing. Every year, it doesn't matter what year it is, or let's put it this way, every year where I want to get myself back on track, and I don't know if this is me doing it or just the universe or just maybe it's just something you have to do. Sometimes you just have to calibrate and adjust to what's going on in your life. But every time, it never fails. Every time I want to get myself going back in the right direction, there's an obstacle that happens. Okay, now the obstacle could be good, bad, however you want to look at it. It's, however you want to approach it. But something happens. This year, I was working on my websites, I getting all my shows back in order, trying to get everything back in line, just trying to get everything organized because I'm, I want to get, become more, more visible than I have been in a while since, COVID. And then all of a sudden, my servers are all down, all of them. Every single server that I run on there is down. And so now it's like, oh my God, really? But I can't blame anybody, really. It's just what it is, right? Like my friend Adriana says, it is what it is. And, it is what it is. It's out of my control. There's not much I can do about it. I either move forward in the right directions that I need to move and not get hung up on the details and all the little small stuff. I remember when I was trying to get back in shape, and I can get back in shape. I was doing the fitness every day I was doing a different fitness thing and I was recording it. And then boom, COVID came. Boom. It was like, bah! Because I was like, really? Is it going to be like this? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and just do it. I'm not going to share anything with the universe. Of course, the universe knows everything I'm doing and everything that I want to do and everything I have planned to do, because that's how the universe works. But it was just one of those things. You just kind of like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. That I have to go do this crap again. But unfortunately, it is, and we are here, and that's what we have to deal with. So I have to deal with it. Excuse me. So I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it just like you do, like I do. Every single person has been affected by everything that has happened in 2020. The great 2020 vision. And rest their souls, all the people who passed away, all the people who didn't make it, and all the people who are fighting for their lives right now to stay alive. Because it's not over, friends. There's still people recovering. There's still people getting sick. There's still things out there. But if you remember a couple shows back, I talked about not living in fear, because that just freezes you. It just totally stops everything that you want to do. When you live in fear and you let fear take over, it just totally owns you. And once it owns you, it dictates what happens to you and how you're going to feel, what you're going to do, what's happening with your body, how you're going to move. Fear can really mess you up, man. It can really mess you up. So with that, I just have to re-examine, refocus, not get so caught up in the details, not get so caught up in the things, have a little faith and trust in what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, when I'm doing it, because we're all capable. We all have the same amount of time on the clock. We all have the same day. We all have the same hours. We all have the same weeks, the same months, the same seconds. And what we do in those moments is really up to us. So that's where we're at. Anyways, here we go. So the other night I had Cloud Piler on and Jonathan Landis and Clapper Landis. They were both on my show, and we were talking about the virus, antibacterials, and different things. And I got some messages where people weren't sure about the book, so I wanted to share that real quick with you. It's probably backwards on here. So it's herbal antivirals, natural remedies for the emerging resistance, and the author is Stephen Howard Bruner. This is a very good book. If you don't have it in your library of stuff, I highly recommend it. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting endorsements for this or any way, but this book is really good. And my friend Kate and Hayden, all of us are starting to read this book together. He got the book. Kate got the book. I had the book. Actually was reading now the other book. So there's two books. I think the other one is Herbals. If I'm not I don't remember. I forgot already. Regardless, it's a good book. It's a good book to, it looks like it's a little brainy kind of a book, but it's still a good book. So I have some guests coming up in the next few weeks that are going to be fun to interview. Some of you know David Tucrose. He's going to be back on my show next Tuesday, I believe, on the Tuesday interview day. And I'm going to have him on, and he's going to talk about what he's been doing. For those of you who know David Tucrose, he's a really good friend of mine, and we've been friends for a long time, and he's partnered up with me in the shows in the past. And so I get to talk to him and see where he's at and what's going on in his life. And then I have some other special guests that I'm not going to reveal yet, because I have to lock down all these big name people, because they can change on you in a split second just because of their schedules and stuff. So I got some really cool, amazing interviews coming up with some amazing, let's put it this way, I think they're amazing. So I am looking forward to interview those folks and see where and how and how they share their love for what they do with the world. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm pretty excited about that. And so here we go. So hopefully you got to listen to that show. It was really good. You can go back. You can actually go on YouTube and find that information. All the shows that I do are recorded on YouTube, and they're all documented there. The videos and the podcast versions of that video. Sometimes people just like to listen. Some people like to watch. So, and the whole collections there of the shows that I've done with Iggy Garcia live. With Insights Radio information, all that stuff, that could actually be found on Blog Talk Radio for those of you who are interested on some really past shows. What I like to do in the near future is take those shows on Blog Talk and move them, transfer them over into the Iggy Garcia archives and move them over here into my other work. But right now I can't move anything, or because all the websites are down and everything is disarray at the moment. But that's what we're doing. So if you want to join me tonight and talk and be on this little town hall, this little meeting, I mean, I'm sure somebody has something they want to share, something they want to talk about, something they want to just get off their chest, or maybe just want to pray, whatever. So this is a good time. This is a good opportunity, and this is a good place to start with that. And if not, then you're not. And I am on Zoom, and I have the link on the page there, and there is also the code that you need to log in with. And I'm on Zoom, and it feeds into Facebook. So that's how it works. Technology. We're all the mercy of technology. So that's what we're doing tonight. So if you're open-minded and you want to do that, you want to share, you're not afraid, not too tired, not too exhausted, or if you just want to sit back and listen, that's fine with me. That's good. I have no qualms about it. So I'm going to check here real quick and see if anybody's logging in, if anybody's logged in, So you are on Zoom. Herbal antibiotics. That's what it was. Kate, thanks for sharing that. Excuse me. And yes, I have a bookmark on my book because I am reading the book. This is what you usually do when you put a bookmark there, or you just want to look studious and put a bookmark, which I'm not that kind of person, but either way. So yeah, this is this week's gone really fast. I mean, considering the fact I've been locked in my house since I haven't really gotten out too much because of the snow, and I had to kind of just adjust my schedules and stuff, doing the things I need to do. But anyways, you enjoy the snow. Those who enjoy the snow, enjoy the snow. Those who don't enjoy the snow, don't enjoy the snow. I got friends who are living in Florida, California, and they're all enjoying the hot, warm weather. The whole rest of the country seems to be frozen, which is kind of weird. So I want to play my drum a little bit. I want to play my drum for you guys here, just to kind of do a little prayer, just to bring some good energy in. And I don't know, I just feel like I need to play that. I can feel it. I can feel it behind me calling me to play. So let me turn around here real quick. So this is my drum, Maya. Maya is a very good sounding drum. I love her. She's a beautiful little drum. She's actually my shamanic drum. I like that drum. It's very powerful drum. You guys don't see it a lot. You don't see me play it a lot because it's the drum I do healing with. It's my healing drum. It's well, all my drums are my healing drums, but that's my personal one-on-one drum that I work with when people are not well. So the drum is a very powerful uh, conductor, bridge to work with somebody who's not well. Um, the drum has brought me magic all my life. I remember playing the drums in a Macedonian band. I remember playing the bongos and the congos when I was a kid before I even knew how to play drums. It was just kind of those things that you do when you're around, percussionists, uh, people who play this kind of music. I grew up in a Latin home, so we had a lot of Latin music. I didn't really grow up with a lot of believe it or not, rock and roll. I wasn't really a really big, Rolling Stones or Who type guy or Pink Floyd or anything like that. But I like the music because I've learned to like it later in life. I grew up with, drumming, dancing, singing, musicals. But what's funny is musicals. I used to do the whole scene of West Side Story as a kid. I knew every scene. Like I knew every. I mean, I almost knew every word to some degree. That's just kind of what kind of kid I was. I was just like that. Now, I don't know if I could remember a scene or not. Maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. But regardless, that's kind of where I was back then. And so, I wanted to talk a little bit about, since nobody's coming on, no one wants to join me. Everybody must be afraid or something. But hopefully you can join me. So my friend Danny, who is here on Facebook too, I'm going to have her on the show in the near future. So she posted something today, which I thought was really cool and I thought was really exciting. And let me see if I can pull it up here and see what exactly she said, because it really moved me when I saw it. It was just one of those things that moves you. And so I want to read it exactly how it was said. Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay. So she could, I don't know if it was her original post, but I gave her credit regardless because that's what credit is due. What would your occupation be if you had followed your childhood dreams? And I was like, it's funny because this is how the universe works, right? The other day, I was working on my album, like my motivational album stuff, And I was talking about that's almost the same thing, which is kind of cool. And so it was going to be the topic about what do you want to be when you grow up? And the whole premise with my motivational thing was going to be to explain, well, I don't want to grow up. I'm really enjoying being a kid. Why do I have to rush? Even though I wanted to be an astronaut, a fireman, all the things that all the kids want to be, right? I was just like that too. I wanted to be this. I wanted to be that. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be Jacques Cousteau and explore the deep seas and stuff. But I was one of those kids that was like, well, do I have to grow up? Do I really need to? Is that important right now? Because I'm really enjoying being here in the present moment, being a child. I may not said it like that, but I know I felt like that, and I'm wondering sometimes. And it's innocent, and sometimes it's very innocent. What do you want to be when you grow up? Blah 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 blah. And of course, we're always going to go towards the things that we know, the things that we've learned, the things that are right in front of us, the things that we're used to, the things that we're connected to. So you're going to be like, yeah, I want to be that. But I just wanted to be a kid. I remember a teacher asked me that, and she's like, "So what do you want to be, Nacho, when you grow up?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Oh, but everybody knows. I'm just guessing this is what the conversation went like because no, I didn't know. I had a lot of ideas about what I might want to be, but I was too busy running, playing, kissing girls, hiding, collecting salamanders under a rock, and cutting school from time to time and seeing Star Wars at the theater for the first time. That's what I was doing. I wasn't too worried about. Now, it's always good to plan. It's always good to have ideas. But if I had to guess, most of us did not grow up to be what we wanted to be. There may be a handful, maybe two handfuls of people that probably grew up what they wanted to be. And, I really, not really, it moved me both ways. The first day when I was thinking about recording that, it moved me in a different direction. Then when I saw her post, it moved me in another direction. So I shifted a little bit. And I put there, and I wanted to be a pro soccer player and a business owner. I think something else, but I don't remember. Excuse me. But either way, I didn't grow up to be what I wanted to be because I don't really know what I wanted to be. I just knew that I was in the situation that I was in, and the situation called for me to work. The situation called for me to be where I needed to be, and I was really hard on myself. And some of you guys will relate to this about being hard on yourself. We're always going to be the most critical of ourselves, and the people who are closest to us are going to be very critical about us too. But I had severe learning disabilities, believe it or not. It was maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I just learned differently than other kids. But man, it was hard. I spoke Spanish, spoke English not very well English, but and I had to really learn everything, and it was a struggle. And most of you have heard me in the past say, that I've had a hard time reading and writing. And even to this day, I am still have to look up things in the dictionary because I don't know how to pronounce them properly or I don't know what that word means and I read. It's funny because I read well, like in my mind, I can read well, but when I try to speak those words, sometimes my what I say doesn't come out the same way. And then I know that you guys for sure over time have actually watched my posts here on the timelines on Facebook and you've seen me writing. You're going, what's he saying, or what? There's times where I write, and I in my mind's eye, I wrote it down on the piece of paper or on the taped it out, and then I have to go over what I write like several times, and even after several times, I go back and I still miss the letter A, which I don't know why, but the letter A is like my my nemesis at times. I write it and it's not there. Where are you, letter A? And so, it's been one of those struggles. If you haven't heard the story, I'm going to tell it again because I think it might motivate somebody to just kind of maybe be a little more gentler on somebody who has learning disabilities, or maybe they have a disability and maybe give them a little courage. So I remember being in school, in public school. And I tell you, if you ever met anybody, and you've probably met a person like this, and I want to welcome everybody who's tuned in, and Need, I see you chimed in there. Good to see you. Beck, good to see you. Kate, good to see you. You've all probably met somebody like me. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this story here real quick as I paste the link again. Hopefully someone will join me on the air. There we go. If you want to join me in the air, just follow that link and you'll get on. So here's my story. I'm not sticking to it because I don't want to own it. It doesn't really own me. You know how they say stick to my story, I'm sticking to it. No, I'm going to rewrite the story. So those of you who have asked me how to rewrite stories, first you have to know the story you're telling. So for a long time, I pretend to know things. Like I would memorize things. I was a very good memorizer. Like I was really good at memorizing, but I wasn't very good at retaining back then. But now some people say I have the memory of an elephant. I remember things they forget about. But I remember going to school and I would remember how things were spelled, the structure, because I had a really hard time enunciating and pronouncing some things, some letters and some words. And I did this all the way into high school. Believe it or not, even when I got to college, I wasn't so bad, but that's a long time to fake things and pretend like you know the material you're learning. Yeah, you learn it, but you find a different way to learn it, I guess that's what I'm getting at. You find a different way to retain the information. I couldn't read well to begin with, so it would frustrate me. Try to read things, and I would look at them, and then it's like my eyesight would just kind of lose track of where I was reading. So this was really difficult for me. I remember being in public school, and they didn't have these programs when I was a kid between first to sixth grade. They didn't, seventh grade, whatever. I was in the public school system. They didn't have these special programs that these kids have today that my son had, my daughter had, and my other son. They didn't have these programs. They just put everybody in a class and they called it a day. I was in a class with kids who were with mental disabilities, handicapped, mental retardations of sorts. I was in this class with all these other kids because they didn't know what to do with me. This is the truth. And I'm not lying about it because I was there. I experienced this. And they just didn't have it. I was almost like they did the best they could with what they had. And I remember being in this class most of the day because it was just really difficult for me to understand things. And then I'm in this class and I remember the teacher giving me comic books. And these comic books were there to help me read. So, and and it's so hard to believe that person is me, was me, it still is me. Couldn't even read a comic book. It was really difficult to look at the comic book and comprehend what I was reading. I had to read it over and over. I was good looking at pictures and figuring out what's happening, but that's not how you usually do it. And I would sit there and read these comic books. And that's why I have a comic book collection now, because that's how I learned to read. I learned to read from comics. It was really difficult for me to read books, the books that were assigned in English class and stuff. It was really difficult. My parents had a really hard time trying to teach me things. And I'm not sure about my siblings. I don't recall. I was too embarrassed and too much in where I needed to be and figure out how I'm going to move and navigate this world. And I didn't want to make the show about myself, but I figured maybe this will help other people find hope that, it's not so hard and it gets better. Because I didn't know what I wanted to be because I didn't know how I could apply the lack of things that I didn't have the ability to do. So my dream building of being this or that was very limited because I had teachers that told me that I was never going to be that. Yeah, I had those kind of teachers. No, you can't. You're not. You barely can do this. I remember these words. They ring in my head, and it was really hard because I wanted to be some things that they didn't think I was capable of being because of their assessment of me, instead of encouraging me to want to excel and do better. What was wrong with them? I don't know. Maybe they had their own issues to deal with, but this is a true story, my friends. And then my dad moved me out of that system because, number one, the immigration laws were changing, and so public schools, you had to come, you had to show documentation. So we went to the Catholic schools because I was having problems in school, learning. I was getting frustrated, fighting, and trying to defend myself and not feel stupid. And then I remember being in school, and it's a small class. Holy Name. I went to Holy Name. It's a very small class. I mean, my whole class, I think, we were just 30 people, 20 people, 20. That was my class. In my eighth grade. Well, when I went there, I was in seventh grade. So I had to repeat seventh grade again. My dad, he held me back. And this is why I graduated older than a lot of my classmates. And I remember the first day, I was always been that funny guy and tried to deflect and push things one way or another, just to, that way I don't have any problems, with people. And so I'm in school, and I really wanted to learn. I really wanted to learn. And teachers knew that I had some issues, and they didn't know how to address me. But I had one teacher, Mrs. Doherty. I don't know where she's at and what's going on in her life. She figured out pretty quick that she was my English teacher. She figured out pretty quick that I was not, I couldn't read, I didn't have it all together in that aspect of sense of reading and writing. And she kept me after recess, and she just asked me, she's like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And I just started crying because I said, I've pretended to know how to read and write. And I've known how to read and write, but it's not at the capacity of where I should be. And she goes, well, I want you to stand during recess, and I want to teach you during recess, bring you up to par, and I'm not afraid of this lady because she didn't have to do this, but she helped me. She helped me with the vowels. This is crazy, that I didn't know. I was a very defiant child. I was like, why there's so many theirs? Why do we have to have so many deers? And why we have to have these different things for, something we're saying the same exact thing. And she just explained to me little by little. And for a while, I didn't know the vowels. I didn't know how they worked. I didn't know how to pronounce the words. And my parents really tried to teach me, but they were frustrated because they had to work 2-3 jobs, make sure we had food on the table. This is before Garcia's, before any business. This is just kind of, finally, after a while, just it all came together little by little. And I remember writing something on the board, and and it was simple as thank you, and I knew how to write thank you, but we were working on some word problems, some word association stuff, and I wrote them on the board, and we both started crying, and she hugged me, and I hugged her, and I was like, I had accomplished something. Just the deep, sheer feeling of accomplishment was profound for me that day. It was really deep. It was something that just needed, and I just didn't want to be left out. I didn't want to feel awkward. I didn't want to feel abnormal. And so, I learned to do other things. I learned how to dance. I learned how to sing. I was one of the fastest kids in my school. I compensated in different areas. And so, I remember going through high school, and some of you probably have the same feeling. You probably wonder how the hell you graduated, how the hell you got out of high school. Because to this day, I still don't know how I got out of high school or how I made it through high school. But I went to Bishop Watterson High School. For those of you who are familiar with Bishop Watterson, but that's like a prep school, so it's like, geez, it was really hard. But I guess I was ready for it. But and they had a little patience with me too, but not like they did at Holy Name. But I to this day, I still think not anymore. I used to have this dream where I thought I didn't pass my math class. That I'm like, I didn't get through my math course. How did I get through it? But I did. I mean, I did it. It took me a little bit longer than everybody. Sometimes I had to stay after class or stay after school, and so my soccer stuff I had to give up sports to some degree. My dad was like, hey, you can't do this, and it's going to be difficult. It was hard, and it was hard because I had to maintain a certain grade point average, and I finally, I think I graduated with a 3.2 out of high school, which was beyond, I mean, to this day, I'm like, is it 3.2 or 3.5? I forget. I was like, how did that happen? I was like, I just didn't give myself enough credit back then, but it was hard. And, it's kind of a blur. Sometimes high school's kind of like a blur. You're like, man, where did that time go? How did I squeeze through that? Because I remember doing all these different things, but I don't remember necessarily the classwork and stuff, but I did it. I remember the talent shows I was in, breakdancing and singing in the band, and I remember all that stuff. But, I made it through Watterson, and so off I went to Ohio State. I actually tried out for their soccer team, made their soccer team, got hurt, played a couple games on the travel squad, but then I got pushed down to the club team because I was just through injuries and stuff. It was just it didn't work out. But I went to school for about a year, half a year, what, 2 quarters, maybe 3 quarters. Like that, we were in quarters, I believe. So, but I made it that far, but it wasn't for me, and I started to dedicate my stuff towards business, and I worked at the restaurant, and I worked at Crosby Drugs too. I was one of the pharmaceutical reps, but then I started my my lawn care business, something I did when I was a kid. I made it into a full blown lawn care service, just where I cut grass, rake leaves, and stuff. And I did really well with that for a long time. So, and then along the way, you learn to study shamanism with your family. You start to learn shamanism through your teachers. You meet new teachers. And then here I am today, and doing the best I can with the tools I have and the things that I've learned and the motivation and the little stories that I write to myself. So, how do you get through things like this? How do you move through things like this? Well, I want to share you a little secret that I don't really talk about too much with everybody. So, this is my secret. This is what works for me. You go to the thrift store or a store and you buy a journal like this. Okay? In this journal, it can be red, any color you want. You take pen to paper. Okay. And this is called Letters to Younger Me, December 8th, 2017 is when I started this one. Ignacio Nacho Iggy Garcia, 12/8/66. That's my birthday. Okay, I'm going to read something from it, okay? Real quick. Okay. This book is a powerful, loving gift to all the parts of us frozen in time. I hope we can see life a little differently. After we finish writing it, I know we hold these experiences much differently than we do now. I'm going to let you know I'll be free writing this journal. So please excuse the spelling, the sentence structures. Read with an open mind and heart. Iggy, 12/8/17. So what is this? I'll tell you what it is. It's a journal to me, talking to my younger self. So this journal, and I tell you, this is amazing work. This is very powerful. You talk about rewriting your story, but how about telling the story to yourself about what's happening now in the present moment? Talking to this kid, talking to you when you're little, because time is an illusion. So time is not a construct that that we have like a ruler, for example. So basically, you're working rewriting your story. You're telling your story to yourself. So I'm just going to read real quick something here. This is 12/8/17. Okay. Hello, younger me. I want to let you know I will be jumping around writing to you as I hope you understand. Well, here we go. At the table at my desk, about to reach out to me in the past, present, future. So remember, this is free writing, so I have to really read what's going on. Go good. I hope it goes good. What am I going to start with? I know it's not hard, but I'm blocked. I don't mean to be, so please be patient with me. So, okay, this is how it starts. All right. Today is our birthday, younger me. Today, I was born in Peru, Lima, 12 p.m., high noon, 1966. And then I wrote 1966 equals 2 plus 2 equals 4. 8 plus 8 equals 20 equals 2 equals 6. So my numerology number is 6. I came up with that. Younger me, I'm sure you remember all the stories of our mom and dad shared with us. I want to let you know we've been on this planet 51 years. Now I can feel the changes in my body and my mind. So at times I sit and I think about what my life would have been like if I hadn't moved to the U.S. How Poppy told, I don't know what I wrote there, but anyhow, it's a story about myself to myself, instead of just I have my audience is me. And does the little kid respond back? I don't think he responds back because I'm responding back to the little kid, but maybe he does. I don't know. I have to remember. I have to look back. But I started writing in that journal again. Now, I don't know what you think about that, but for me, that's been medicine. That's been work. That's been healing. That's been a lot of stuff. Approaching myself from past, present, and future, and telling myself a story. So it's been pretty crazy. And the reason I say that is because I actually talk about my mom and dad dying to myself. Dear Nachito, I wanted to let you know your mom passed away at 12:30 p.m. on 2/27/18, it's coming up here. I found her today, her body. I hate to tell you this news. Now you know when she will die. Maybe it will help us in the future to be better prepared ourselves. I'm not sure we can change her destiny or her death. I'm not sure if you. It just when I go back and read it, it's like, wow, this is like woo. You talk about the shamanic work that I do. It's like very real. So that's my journal. That's my journal to me. And these journals are very powerful because they can actually help you heal past traumatic wounds that you don't even know you have sometimes. Wounds about things that you probably just didn't even realize they were playing out in your head. Excuse me. So this is an opportunity for me to write to myself and talk to myself about myself, and how it's almost like telling a story to past me, future me, all at the same time. And journaling is so powerful a lot of people discount it because they don't like to ride or too lazy, blah, 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 you name it. And so, but for me, it's been a godsend. It's been something that I've done, something that I really needed to do. And I was really surprised how it is. Now, I haven't talked about the COVID stuff yet. I haven't gotten that far yet because I'm not ready to write that part yet. Is more writing about the things, the experiences of, being a child or viewing myself as a child or talking to myself, what to be prepared for, what to see, what's to come, what's happening. That's kind of the cool part, telling myself, hey, this is going to happen to you. So you have an opportunity to change that now that I'm telling you that. It's almost like talking to yourself. It's kind of because, quantum physics, there is no separation between people. We're all connected. So that version of me is connected to me still. It's still tethered to me in a way that I can help it work through its process. And so this is the cool thing about the work that I do and the work that I've been, entrusted to do is these soul retrieval works, these works to be able to help people find their way back to themselves or to themselves. And so he who does the work is also doing the work himself. So I do the work just like I do the work on other people. So these are all different things that are going on in my life. So I wanted to share that with you because I figured somebody needed to hear that tonight, even though the show had a whole different premise that I wanted to create today. But either way, we're here now, and we're doing the best we can during this time of pandemic or pandemonium or whatever you want to call it. And, I'm here to tell you things get better. Things are going to get better because anytime we're down, the only place we can go is up. As much as we can go up, as we can go down. So if you're ready for changes in your life, these changes are slow processes sometimes. And sometimes these changes are immediate. And sometimes things don't change. You just stay where you're at. But you learn to navigate differently. You learn to move into the space in a different way. You move into the space in a way that directs you, moves you, motivates you. Don't change because people say you need to change. Change because you truly want to change. Change and create those changes because in your heart, in your spirit, you want to see change. Now, today I sent out a video from KSR1, a rapper, and he was talking about communication and, how we talk the 3D versus 5D. And he put this thing called Rockstar out, in front of everybody to read. And I thought it was really interesting. And this is something that we know, but we just don't really think about it. Everybody say, I watch. See my I watch? Everybody say, I watch out loud. And you say, I watch. Now, I want you to say, I watch in your mind's eye out loud, but don't speak it. Just think it. Okay, so I posted these videos on my timeline. So the cool thing about it was you said it in your head, but who's saying that? He's talking about who said that. Who? Was that you? And how did you hear you? Your ears are out here. Did you visualize the eye watch? But your eyes are out here. But you said it, right? And you heard a voice. Or you felt the presence of a voice. And I was like, damn. You're right, man. It's like, that was pretty powerful medicine. So I was like, and the reason I found this video is because I was having a conversation with my buddy, Jason. Sort of, I was going through his profile there, and this rap guy came on, and he was playing. His name was, I think it's called Spectrum is the name of the group, but And he was rapping about metaphysical stuff. And I was like, I had never heard anybody really rap about metaphysical stuff that I really, truly liked. But this one was really good. And then I asked my friend Jason, I said, hey, who is this guy? And he told me, he goes, oh, this is his inspirations from KRS-One. And I was like, really? And then I followed the KSR-One video that he sent me, and I was like, damn, the universe is conspiring in my favor. The universe wanted me to hear something. I needed to hear something. And I watched another video, and he talked to KRS-One talked about how people can change things in an instant, the possibilities. He talked about how sometimes rappers in the community would say somebody's rap stunk, it was no good, and then they bought into it, and it was bad. But then he also talked about how rappers say, oh, that's amazing, that's wonderful, and then just build them up. He talked about building up people versus tearing them down, because it's so easy to tear them down. Because if you build them up, then you have the opportunity to help them change and fix the little things that they need to work on. But if you totally just chop someone's stuff down, you're chopping someone's beliefs and ideas, and sometimes it's very harsh to come straight and be blunt with somebody and hurt them. But it was just perspectives that I knew and I just forgot, and it's just like, sometimes you have to refresh yourself, and you have to find mentors, and you have to find people who inspire you. Every day there is thousands and thousands of information just rolling through the space time continuum, that we just have access to through YouTube, through Spreaker, through my stuff, that you can just connect to and just be part of. And, it's just amazing. But yet we don't do it. We don't do it. We don't do it. We forget, or we don't care. We get landlocked in our emotions. I got landlocked in my emotions today. I got frustrated about some things. I also wasn't really frustrated about some things. I was just like, damn, I don't know. I was kind of nervous and scared. And my friend Kay's like, what do you mean nervous and scared for? I was like, I don't know, just being human, I guess, just, I don't know, rejection. I'm human. I don't want to be rejected. That's just kind of it is. But I don't know, sometimes we put people on a pedestal and we think that they're just they know so much more than us, and that maybe they don't want to align with us. But maybe it was me just not aligning with their energy too, because they come from a whole different perspective. But I want to put people on my show too who have different perspectives than mine, and they see the world differently. So I thought that was important. And of course, I knew that this person would probably say yes or no. Most likely would say yes versus no, but because I have been rejected in the past to have people on my show, and it was neither here or there. It just is what it is. But she says this, and I was totally excited because this is a pretty big deal. This person's pretty big in the work that she does, kind of like the work I do. She does her work. So, but I'm not going to give her name yet because I don't want to give away yet. I want you guys to kind of come back to my show and listen and kind of figure out who it is. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to, guys. That's kind of where it's been. It's kind of where I've been processing and working, and I feel pretty good about the future. I feel very good about the work that I'm doing. I feel really good about how I'm going to be progressing and moving forward in this 2021. I'm looking forward to doing some nice, amazing things. And, it takes time, but, time well spent. That's the way I look at it. So hopefully you guys go out there, change the world, do what you want to do, create what you need to create, believe what you need to believe, journal to younger self, talk to yourself, because it's very powerful work. You'll be shocked how you write things and how you perceive things and how you tell how you tell things to yourself, how you tell yourself about things that happened, the way you perceived them happening, and how this child is, and how you prepare them to get into this new event that's coming their way. It's almost like you're giving them a heads up. So, and I tell you, sometimes I feel a lot different after I write that, and it's like almost like it didn't happen. Because psychologists and, counselors and everyone will tell you the more you tell a story, the more it morphs, the more it changes, the more it becomes completely different from the original foundation. And even an hour from when it happened, it has changed. So imagine if you lived something like this for 30, 40 years and you keep rolling that around in your head about a trauma that you had. I guarantee you that that trauma has taken on its own identity, its own course, and it has just frozen and locked certain parts of you down. So, I hope that everybody is able to find the inner peace that they need to find, the inner work they need to do, and the abundance that they want to create. All the things that you want to do. Think about all the people who came before us. Think about all the trendsetters, the leaders. These were people just like you and me, but they just desired to be a little different, a little bit more proactive, a little more involved, a little bit more seen. If you don't want to be seen, then just keep doing what you're doing or just hide yourself. But if you really want to step outside the boundaries of what it means to be different and what it means to be somebody who's doing the work, then you have to understand that there's things that come with that. If you're in the public eye, you're going to be seen in the public eye. If you don't want to be seen, you won't be seen. But if you want to be doing the work, then you have to do the work. If you want to be, and that's if you want to do this, not because you want to or whatever. If you just want to heal the pieces and parts of yourself, then don't worry so much about it. But if you really want to follow your dreams and the things that you believe in, the things that you want to be, then you will have to get uncomfortable. You will have to do things that aren't necessarily in your nature. Not that they will hurt you in a physical or emotional way. It just means that you might have to say more hellos and goodbyes than you probably have. You probably have to write more things down than you probably have. You probably have to say more thank yous, and you have to make more phone calls, and you probably have to do a whole bunch of things that you're not used to doing. But either way, we do the best we can. So, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in since we weren't able to get anybody to come on here and chat with me and talk with me and join me on the air. Maybe we just won't do that anymore. Maybe we'll just knock that out of the repertoire and I'll just share my thoughts and my guests with the show. But I always find it very important that people who are in my community have a platform where they can share what they need to share in their heart. Maybe it's a little scary. Maybe it's a little hard. Maybe it's easy for me, but not so easy for you. Maybe I need to take an account of that too. But I've also been thinking about moving this platform out of Facebook and moving it in just into YouTube directly, and just completely find a whole different demographic. Since Facebook is becoming a very negative place, becoming very I don't know, everybody very opinionated, very difficult at times, and I'm kind of getting tired of it too. And the only reason I'm probably here is because I have good friends and I have some connections and I have my photos all logged in here. But, we'll see. These are some things I'm thinking about, contemplating. But I would still keep my Facebook. I would just direct everybody to go to YouTube and watch these shows instead of being on Facebook. With that, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And, I just want to let you know you can find me on YouTube. Subscribe to Iggy Garcia on YouTube. You can find me on Spreaker. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on iTunes. You can find me just about everywhere there's some kind of connection to podcasting. Just do a search on the internet. You can find me. And then, enjoy what you find. But with that, I wanted to say, Ho'oponopono, matakuyasin. What is above is below. Namaste. Irisikwi. It's good to be here. And we're going to be drumming again soon, guys. So don't forget about the spring coming up pretty quick. We'll be outside drumming before you know it. We'll probably get a lot of rain this year, most likely, just because we're getting this much snow. It's probably a good indicator that we're going to get a lot of rain. So I'm looking forward to maybe laying low here in a little bit, taking some hiatus and going on a little mini excursion. I'm not sure. I haven't decided where I'm going to go yet, but I think I'm going to get away, and I might do my shows from there, or these remote areas. But that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I hope that you were able to tune in. If you had difficulty tuning in to the Zoom, that's on me. I apologize for that. So I will see everybody next time, next Tuesday at 7:30. I will have David Two Crows on my show. He's an old friend of mine. Some of you know him. And he'll be talking about what he's doing. We'll be sharing and just talking back and forth and hopefully have a good show. All right, my friends, I will see you. It's good to be here. It's good to be here, everybody. For those of you who are still on the air, I will talk to you next time, next week. Be well. Take care of yourselves, and much love, guys. And I will see you next time on Iggy Garcia Live. This was episode 129, the town hall that never happened. All right, guys, be well, take care, and I will see you next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Peace and love. Take care.